everyone to a...
Who's he talking to?
I don't know. I like the way the microphone is directly in front of Lawrence's mouth.
It's my mic now.
Welcome to the podcast.
That's not what I sound
Are we
like.
recording to Audacity?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't have time to come up with an intro. So welcome to the Dude Soup. Welcome to the steaming dudes.
Oh yeah, Dude
So
Soup.
it's called Dude Soup.
Yeah.
Dude Soup.
This is a Dude Soup.
This is it.
We are in the Dude Soup. Yeah. It's gonna be tricky getting Joel to pick up on the mic.
A Dude
We're
Soup.
gonna move it over to both of you.
A Dude
well,
Soup.
he's back there.
No, microphones record in front of them.
Yeah.
So
it's fine.
As long as it isn't pointed away,
Yeah.
it'll get him.
Can you hear me now? I am on the Dude Soup.
So a Dude Soup is when a bunch of guys get together
Go on.
and they spread out a bunch of porno magazines down on the floor right out of the webcam
Dude
view.
Soup is our podcast.
And then they talk about various topics.
No.
Dude
That
Soup is
Dude
when
Soup?
a bunch of guys get in a hot tub, and whatever happens under the surface of that little tempest
He's
stays
right.
under
He's
the
right
surface
about
of that.
I actually
He's right about
suggested that we record one of these in a hot tub, make it a real Dude Soup.
Well, of course.
I love that idea.
I'm going with the girl out of the
except
gate.
Just need to get some waterproof microphones and computers
Well,
and everything else.
It's not water, it's chicken broth.
quick. Okay. Chicken broth proof.
And sliced up carrots. It's
Imagine
basically,
all that
it's
salt
basically
getting
what
up
you
in.
put Bugs Bunny in. You know, when you want to make
You
rabbit
wanna
stew.
Cook them up.
Adam, you seem uncomfortable with the way this is going.
started out with Dude Soup as a joke.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was a sort of like
People wanted
sad
this.
moment.
They
It was a sad
wanted
moment
this.
where we're like, oh, we want to be called Dude Soup, it'll never happen. No one wants it, and now we have it.
They want it.
You know what I
They
like?
asked us.
I don't know how I feel about
I
it.
like how we were like, we kind of like the name Dude Soup. But then we went with Funhaus, right? But then on the podcast we were like, but we still kind of like the name Dude Soup. We were like, maybe we should call the podcast Dude Soup. I think it was Bernie who was like maybe you guys should
Yeah,
just call the
just do
podcast
that.
Dude
Yeah.
Soup. And then in the subreddit and in the comments they were like, why don't they just call the podcast Dude Soup? And then we said, I think you said on the Rooster Teeth podcast that that's what we were probably going to do. And everyone's like, we did it.
Yeah.
We
Done.
did it. We
Done.
figured it out. It's like,
I said it's kind of a joke, but here we are.
Man, she's beautiful.
That's nice.
African American.
I like that hair.
Why are we playing
how
Fallout?
Wait.
Oh, yeah, because Fallout 4 might happen.
Female.
Well, this is the biggest chance ever that
kinda-
we might get a Fallout 4 very soon.
Yeah, everything kind of lines up. If you're...
a street urchin.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna make
Fallout
a
4.
Joel, that's right.
Oh boy.
Spool, go back to editing.
Keep talking.
I don't have my noise canceling headphones.
I need you editing, Spool.
I can't edit. I can't hear anything.
Can you? Oh, you got headphones on.
You can concentrate.
Yeah, you.
How did that head rip through that mother's body?
So yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Bethesda announced their first ever E3 conference, taking the place of Konami, I guess, who has been long deposed ever since their awesome Rock Revolution performance. Look that up if you haven't seen it. So we're back up. E3 seems to be on the rise. It seems to be falling for a while. But the question is, I guess Bethesda feels like they have enough titles to warrant a conference now.
This is their very first E3 conference.
Yeah.
So exciting.
That
It's
is-
not going to be a lot.
I think it is exciting, yeah. There's a whole lot of commentary could be made there about, like, people think the AAA...
Oh man, look at that profile.
No, it has to go straight down.
Strong
It's
profile.
like you people want more of this?
That's a strong profile. Look at that.
There, that's good.
That's a power nose.
Looks like when you see a bust of Julius Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Julius Caesar's ugly.
Looks like a hawk.
I mean, beautiful.
We don't know what Bethesda Bethesda Softworks is their first party developer studio. We don't know what they're doing, but they've spent an awful long time doing it, so...
Well, they just to be clear too, they've done press conferences before at QuakeCon.
Oh, yes. Well, that has become their press conference.
E3 press conference.
Correct. So that's kind of why this is a big deal. That's why last year they announced Doom 5 or just Doom.
They
now.
showed it for the first time at
Yeah.
QuakeCon last year,
Wasn't it Doom 4?
So it was Doom 4, now it's just Doom.
But it was announced at E3, so it seems like they're doing.
I think it was actually unveiled at QuakeCon. I could be wrong about that.
I swear we saw, or maybe it was unveiled, but we saw the trailer at E3.
Yeah, no, I think Adam's
no.
right. I think
I remember looking at it on our phone
Yes,
outside the convention
you're
center.
right, yes.
We're looking like, cool as a dragon or
I
something.
remember because I was at the QuakeCon when they announced it, and they just showed the logo, and then I think Todd Holland was still there. He came out and was like, "Yeah, we're doing Doom, baby."
And then he quit.
Yeah, and then he quit.
Everyone went, oh.
No. Shut up! Fuck you! Doom is the best game ever made. So that's what I'm most excited about, probably more than a Fallout 4, just because it's a known quantity. But
It looks like MacGruber.
Hold on.
Yeah, it does.
It's like a gene. I like that it's a gene projection machine.
Yeah.
This is the point where you just start.
Aborting the baby.
You just start punching the belly as hard as you can.
just get a rock, just
Yeah.
Yeah, that's look good though. Look at that, huh? strong chin. I like that chin.
So for the
It's like King
reasons
Joffrey.
Oh yeah.
for the reasons discussed on the we're putting our bets down on them unveiling Fallout 4 with a new engine, new tech, that kind of thing, to harness the power of next gen. But really, when I think about what a Fallout 4 might be, honestly, it's probably just going to be Fallout 3, but prettier.
Really?
Yeah, because
after 3 years of working on it?
Well, ultimately, I think it comes down to a sort of systemic nature of the game. They have dev tools that allow them to make quests and make things like that. And to me, Fallout 3 felt kind of similar, and especially Skyrim felt similar to like a single-player MMO in terms of the way the quests work and things like that. It's pretty obvious that like the goal posting they have for NPCs and the triggers and stuff like that, it works, but it also kind of all feels the same.
Just play the damn game.
Yeah,
Move on.
I am playing the game.
No, move on.
So regardless.
Oh no.
Seductress.
Poor dude.
So Fallout 3.
It's a girl.
Fallout 3 came in. Fallout 3 came out in 2008.
Well,
right?
her name is Dude, though.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Fallout 3 came out in 2008, right?
Did it?
It did. 2008.
Long time ago.
When did Skyrim come out?
2011.
November.
End of 2011. Okay.
Mangy.
Is what
Why
you
are we
want
doing
there.
this?
Yeah.
This per
Please, just pick one.
Oh, that's good. And Ladylike, do that.
Frazzled.
So it came out in 2011. So very possibly they could have been working on Fallout 4 at the very latest 2012.
Yeah, because they were
Right.
doing Skyrim DLC and all that kind of stuff.
But I don't believe that. I think they have had a team on it for a while.
I
think probably since Fallout 3 came out, they realized how successful that was and started a sequel like any good studio would.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been working on this game possibly since 2009, 2010, around there. We've got about 5 years of development. Like you said, they're developing a brand new engine. Most likely that makes the most
I would
sense.
guess, yeah.
That makes the most sense. So I hope it's not just a prettier Fallout 3. I mean, look at this. It's gorgeous.
I think so. My
Why
hope,
do you want anything different?
my hope is that the level, like the increase in game,
Yeah.
will be the same as between Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like Morrowind and Oblivion were really similar. It felt like to me.
What, you thought? Man.
Wait, no, I would say...
I'm not challenging you. I'm just surprised that you
I would say Oblivion was closer to Fallout because it was followed each other. They basically used the...
All right, that's
used-
fair. I just
Morrowind
meant
was...
franchise.
Yeah.
But he's talking about the Skyrim jump.
Oh, you're saying
like
the
the-
jump?
yeah,
oh,
the jump,
holy
exactly,
shit. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Man,
Where
to me,
could-
it felt like Morrowind to Oblivion was the biggest change, and then Oblivion to Skyrim was just kind of a refinement.
Right.
Because Morrowind, I felt like was still kind of a PC RPG. Like the UI was really small, the inventory, like text was small, all the interface was kind of dependent on a mouse, and it was also really hard, and they didn't tell you where to go for most of the quests. Whereas in Oblivion, now you have like quest markers, a giant map, big old goofy like menu bars all over the place that make it look more like a console game, and it works.
But to me, those I think those were reactions to other RPGs that were out, and it's like, oh, these games have this. Whereas Skyrim innovated a lot more
So what, do you
than Oblivion
think
did.
Skyrim? So it sounds like you think Skyrim is a first-person mod for Oblivion.
Wait, what? But didn't Oblivion...
Oblivion could
had
be in first person.
Oh, well, so then I mean, what changed?
So let's see here. From Oblivion to Skyrim, I think the quest markers and the questing got a lot better. There's a lot more content to the game.
They simplified the shit out of it.
The simplification in the UI was, I thought, really elegant in Skyrim, and it was not at all in Oblivion.
Really?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They mainstreamed it for the unwashed masses like myself.
Basically, yeah.
Because I didn't feel like it was easy to navigate. I thought it was cool, but I didn't think it was easy to navigate that UI at all. In
Yeah,
Skyrim?
well, you probably played it on PC, right? Well, you
Yeah.
played it
I
on
played
PC too.
I played it on both. I played it on
Man.
PS3 and on PC.
I could not
played it
have.
360 and PC and 360 I just couldn't stand all the buttons I had to hold down to navigate the UI. So I went to PC and that
There you
made it
go.
easier, but it still was sort of wonky. It always felt like a good broken game, like Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, that's
or like
how-
it was
yeah.
kind of broken, but it was a lot of fun, and that's the way it felt to me. I didn't get into Skyrim as much as you guys did though. So
I didn't either, and it's mostly because I really wanted to play it on PC because that's how I enjoy immersive RPGs like that. But when it came out, it's gotten a lot better since. But when it came out, the mouse aiming was just bad. It was like really floaty and laggy. The interface was obviously tuned for console, so on a PC it just looked like everything was like a giant kid's book because
Yeah.
everything was huge. There were multiple tabs to every inventory screen where if you were on PC, all that stuff can be condensed. And I know mods have helped. Sky UI is really good, but even still, just playing the game was frustrating. And also the lack of autosave murders me, because I would get into that game as you're supposed to, and like 45 minutes would go by and I wouldn't even realize it, and then I'd just be like, there's a cool cave, and I'd walk in there and some ice giant would just be like, bam, and I'd be dead.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like part of the world, but
to me that's a quality of life thing more than like I remember to save because I have been burned by RPGs in the past.
no, I have too.
Yeah, so for me it's every like, oh yeah, save.
Well, that was just difficulty of the game, which I thought was cool, actually. I liked that you could accidentally wander to an area and immediately die. I thought that was kind of fun.
So do you think that the progression of simplifying the game, at least that seems to be the consensus, is going to carry over to Fallout 4?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be even, so it's just going to be like it's weird because Todd Howard basically came out and said, we're not going to make Doom, obviously. Whatever comes out is not going to be a linear shooter. But at the same time, they were like, they're going to make an open world game, but how can they simplify Fallout more? Well, it would end up just being a first person shooter.
I don't know if it's simple in terms of mechanics, but I think Skyrim basically struck a really perfect balance between being complicated in terms of stats and RPG systems and being accessible. Like anyone can just start wandering around and find cool stuff.
True. Yeah, the crafting system I didn't really get into.
I think crafting and then just like the stat system is a little funky. Like you have to level up skills and then you level up, but you have to sleep to get your. Wait, you don't have to sleep in Skyrim, do you?
You don't have to, but if you do, don't you get like rested benefits?
Yeah, if you like break your leg and you take a nap, it heals itself.
But like Morrowind, you would like, it would be like you hear a whisper from the mage council or whatever, and that meant you had to go to sleep to spend your stat points to level up.
Look, and don't get me wrong, I love how D&D Morrowind was. Like you would have to jump to increase your jumping.
Yeah.
Like
which led you just
so
bouncing
annoying.
all over the entire continent.
It's so annoying, but it's also like it makes it more like D&D to me. But I don't know, Skyrim's just more fun. You don't have to think about that stuff.
Well, so here's the question then.
Right.
If they announce Fallout 4, which it sounds like they probably will, what other game do you think it would be similar to? Like, what developments in games now do you think Fallout 4 will use? Because
that's a good question.
So like, I know Todd Howard is obviously working on some innovative parts that will be brand new to things that we've never seen before, but I'm sure that there'll be other things they integrate from Assassin's Creed or integrate from Watch Dogs or whatever else into Fallout.
Happy birthday!
What would
She looks like Skeeter from Muppet Babies.
what do you think Fallout 4 will have? Besides,
All right.
we talked about open world RPG and things like that.
I've got a theory,
Okay.
and this is what I hope, is that New Vegas touched on this a little bit, and Shadow of Mordor really, really made it real. But what I would like for there to be is a set of rules that govern the entire world, and then your actions, you can tell. Basically, I want some kind of mechanic that overrides the entire world and changes it as you play it, as opposed to you can go to this town and do this one quest line, and that quest line ends in one of two options, and based on what you pick, the town will either blow up or be there forever. I would rather it be more like Shadow of Mordor, where it's like there's this constantly moving and shifting set of rules that are constantly playing with each other, and then you are a factor in that, and then depending on where those influences land, it influences your decisions.
Right.
So New Vegas kind of had that with its like alignments and things like that, but
Well, as you guys were talking, I was thinking about how I've played none of these games. I've played 5 minutes of Skyrim. I didn't play any Elder Scrolls games other than that, and I played Fallout 3 for maybe a couple hours before I got distracted by how, like you were kind of saying, the world is just so expansive, and then you make one step in the wrong direction, you die, and then you're like, well, fuck this. So I hope, like Lawrence is saying, it feels more like Shadow of Mordor, where it's like, it's not overwhelming. Like, the world is really large and there's stuff to do, but it's not overwhelming. I've said it before, I hate when you basically have a thing you can look at that shows all the open side quests, and it just becomes a grocery list at a certain point, and I don't care. If there's a way to make it feel more natural to the world, where obviously things are going to happen, these characters are going to be floating around, but even if you went to this place...
That's really hard, though, because then you have like all these quests that are floating around there, and then if it's not a grocery list, then there's no way to track it. I'm not saying that's the best way of doing it, I just can't conceive.
In Shadow of Mordor, they said, like, there are like 5 things that you can do, and you can do 20 different types of things that feed into those pipelines. I would much rather that, because then even if there's 20 things to do, you're like, but I'm only kind of picking between 1 and 5 outcomes.
Sort of like stratifying your long-term and your short-term goals and figuring out how to translate that to the player.
I always thought the appeal of like Fallout, Skyrim, all that stuff is like, they're like, go here, or you just kind of walk in that direction and see what happens.
Or don't, right,
Yeah, that's always been the appeal to me, where it's like, you can do the grocery list if you want to, but at the same time, like, like Syndicate's a good example. He did a whole video series where he avoided the main story and he just walked around and did shit for a while. Like, that's kind of cool that you can do that in a game.
It's very cool.
The reason there are many reasons I generally prefer the Elder Scrolls to Fallout, and one of them is the environments. Like, I don't like walking around an apocalyptic wasteland, and I think that Shadow of Mordor did a really good job of, you're in Mordor, and it is
kind of a fantasy wasteland, yeah.
But there is greenery, and there are differences to the landscapes, and it's really pretty. And I've never beyond like it being a generally pretty game for 2008.
Yeah.
It actually looks a lot better than it did when it came out too.
Yeah, it does.
I've never thought to myself walking around any Fallout game like, wow, this is an environment I want to spend a ton of time in. Because it's just
some people do think that.
Another thing is
sociopaths.
They should take this opportunity to prevent themselves from ending up on the front page of Reddit over and over again by pointing out that they have a lock-picking interface, yet there's a giant open window.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, here's a giant door that's basically half broken to shit. Unfortunately, you can't unlock that door that has a chest behind it. It's like, let's work on that. Let's, instead of just throwing statistics down that qualify things, let's really assess what you're putting as an obstruction here for this game.
I think Thief's actually a good example of that, where it felt like everything in Thief was interactive, regardless of whether or not you could. It just felt like it. So, like, even when you walked up, I was always surprised when I walk up to something and I couldn't interact.
That's true. Yeah.
And back in obviously 2008, so that's what is that? 7 years ago? Yeah. So I mean, at this point now the technology's advanced a lot, and I think Todd Howard's going to be able to do what he wants to do with Fallout 4, because this game felt really large and expansive to me in 2008. Now that we've seen new games, we've seen kind of what they can do. We're like, oh, this is so weak and obviously simple. I think Fallout 4 is going to be a lot more interactive than that. And I wonder if they're going to integrate any sort of online component, because that's sort of what I'm wondering about.
Elder Scrolls Online proved that they didn't need to.
Yeah, and
Skyrim proves they don't need to.
I agree with both of those things.
Yeah,
both. Yeah.
But I feel like they want to now. I feel like because they've done this, they've done the single player, they've gotten really good at single player, and they know they have. So what does a good developer usually do then, right? They advance themselves.
Yeah.
So that they're not going to be like, we're going to make the same thing again. Like they're going to try and integrate some sort of online component. I don't know how, but it sounds like it might be maybe sort of like Destiny.
Fallout, how would you even do that?
It could be like a Destiny thing where you have to group up and there are world events and
okay,
things like that.
I like the idea of procedurally generated things for certain places, or like group events sort of things. Like, I like the idea of like a Dark Souls type of online feature where I like when the open world is your own thing, when like all the creatures you kill and stuff stay dead. And they don't randomly populate. But if you go into like, in Fallout, go into a vault or, basically what is a dungeon, someone could just like pop in and they could either fuck with you or they can help you out. Like, I like that idea, and keeping the online limited. Let's look at this monster.
You got a nice ass.
Hello, Dad.
She does look like Skeeter, but she have a nice ass.
I have the mumps.
That's a sweet ass, though.
Well, that's all that agility.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool idea, because you could invade someone's game and then just show up like a bandit or a raider, a faceless, goggle-wearing, bandana-clad NPC, and then just try and fuck with somebody. That sounds kind of fun. And if you kill them, you get to loot their corpse.
Yeah, and then having the option to not have to do that would be great. Like, don't make that the focus of the game. Like, make it seamless. Like, Destiny's kind of like that.
Watch Dogs is actually pretty good about that too. When it comes to multiplayer,
Oh yeah. Some random
you can
like
invade other people's games, and then when you do, you just look like an NPC, but you're like hacking them, and you have to hide from them.
That's really cool.
And then from when you get invaded, you're just playing single player, and then all of a sudden it's like blam, you're getting invaded, and then it just drops somebody right into your game, and you have to find them.
Well,
You're hacked.
I think one thing that we will be able to see from Fallout 4 that we did not see from Destiny is Destiny's single player. Everybody whined about it, and I mean, you guys to a certain extent, even when you finished it, you were like, "Did we finish the story?
Is that it?
Is that it?" And like, the game's still fun.
Yeah, you shot the big thing. Here's a gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think
shooting the big.
I don't think Fallout 4 is going to be like that at all. I think it's going to have a very defined story. I don't know if it'll be as good or as bad as Skyrim was. Skyrim was pretty cheesy.
For those of you that beat Fallout 3, I heard that if you just stick to the main story campaign, it's actually pretty quick.
It's like 60 minutes. It's nothing.
It's like your dad goes missing, and then like my favorite one was like someone posted a modded screenshot where you have permanent erections. And he was like a guy with a cowboy hat and mutton chops, and it was a slow motion thing of him like smiling, like busting like a mutant's head open. It says, the title is, I just want to find my dad.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's a really short single-player campaign, which I think will be the same with Fallout 4.
I think also New Vegas was kind of a good example of like taking an established, idea and like really improving the story. I really enjoyed New Vegas's world and story way more than 3. But
Had a lot more character.
Yeah, but also Fallout 3 had the impossible job of us, making Fallout fans happy with what they thought was going to be a first-person shooter, and now, everyone loves Fallout 3, and most of the kids are like, there was a Fallout 1 and 2? I had no idea.
Yeah, basically. It's kind of a minor miracle that, of all things, the Fallout franchise has become one of the titans of the RPG world. And on a larger note, Bethesda, they're pretty clear about converting most of their hits into franchises. They said as much about Dishonored. And there was another one. It's escaping my mind right now. But they basically said, if a game performs well enough, it becomes a franchise, and we're not going to walk away from that.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
So, obviously, a Fallout 4 is going to happen at some point. Whether or not it's next kind of remains to be seen. But in the terms of like what that game could borrow from other modern games, I feel like the Golden Goose right now is working in MMO mechanics into single-player games. Yeah. Namely in the sense of like grind for gear. Destiny is obviously huge about that. What I could see them doing is like, I can't remember who was suggesting like weekly events, so they could add like basically a dungeon raid, and then you party up with 3 other vault dwellers.
Absolutely.
And you guys hit this really long dungeon with a big boss at the end, and then you get stupid points or tickets or roll for gear at the end, and then you get a new leather jacket, rifle, whatever.
So I never played Fallout 1 and 2. How different were they from 3? Like in terms of like
very, very different.
They're top-down isometric turn-based.
Do you think there's any value in just calling it Fallout, doing the cool thing, because it's just Doom, right?
Yes.
Anyone?
Halo.
And then
This is what Adam does with everything,
Halo?
by the way.
Yeah.
what?
So you go,
Reboot?
what if they just get rid of the numbers?
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, though.
He's Steve Jobs.
Numbers post 3 never do well in games.
I'm just saying, like, is it worth revisiting Fallout 1 and 2, combining them into one game, calling it Fallout, and then having like
Well, Fallout 1 and 2 took place in different places.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you could do that, but
kill myself.
And the other big thing about Fallout 1 and 2 is they were even less directed than like Morrowind, for example. So the way Fallout 1 begins is like, hey, we're running out of water. Go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, they're like, there's a town over there. Maybe that'll help. And that's it. And you go to the town and just talk to everyone and find leads. And
I just remember the cool thing was you could have sex with people.
Yeah, you can.
A friend of mine played. He's like, you have to play this game Fallout, you can have sex. I'm like, you have an internet connection, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we need to download porn.
yeah.
That took way too long back then.
With iMesh, you get like a 3 megabyte file, you put it on floppy drive, call it a day.
Nothing floppy about that drive.
Boy, he was ready for that.
Gross.
Zip disk was also a cool thing.
Also, I think every time you bang someone, it just fades to black and fades up.
Well, I think
Just like real life.
That's true. But I can
Just
jerk
gonna
off in
pass
that amount of time. But I think for Destiny, we saw that everybody wants to grind, regardless of whether or not you don't like the game.
Yeah.
Millions of people are playing it and grinding for gear.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was grinding for gear in Fallout 3 on my own.
Yeah.
Like I would just wander around and like be like, ooh, new gun, like kind of like try to kill a guy and get his gun and try to like get a new helmet or something like that. I was doing that single player for no reason at all.
Huh.
So why wouldn't you do that in Fallout 4?
Yeah,
like
with people.
And then actually use that, in some sort of crucible. So I don't know.
It's a really sticky game mechanic because if you make yourself dependent on other people, then you have friends who are like, we need to play tonight because I want a new hat.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
It works. I mean,
I kind of prefer the Dark Souls thing where it's just like it just kind of happens. Like I don't want a multiplayer component, shoot like a Crucible type thing in Fallout. Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I mean, if they can make it work, great. But at the same time, I don't know. Like what was the game? Not Rage. That one, which is kind of the closest looking thing to what probably Fallout 4 will look like.
I liked Rage. I liked the last hour of Rage.
The last hour of Rage.
That's when it was closest to Doom, and I was like, "Here we go, we're doing it." I got like a chain gun and a BFG. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it's over."
I actually liked Rage. My problem was I had played on PC and it kept lagging.
Yeah, it was
weird
not
thing where,
Screen
you walk.
tear.
Yeah, you walk like 4 steps and we just kind of stop and it was like
Horrible on
That's a
PC.
feature.
Did you ever play Rage?
No.
Rage is bad.
It wasn't.
That's what I heard.
bad.
It was made for console.
Like the rest of you guys.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I guess Wolfenstein New Order was kind of like what Rage should have been
Yeah,
in terms of a first-person
absolutely.
shooter.
Fuck me, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Rage felt like Fallout in the sense that it was like you're like walking through an apocalyptic wasteland. There was cars and Mad Max and all that other bullshit, but it wasn't fun to play. So like it just didn't have VATS, and that was the problem. It was like when you shot things, it didn't feel satisfying.
Didn't really have stats either.
That's right, it didn't.
No, it was just a shooter. Some things you could level up, like you get better armor and a higher health if you found the right items in the world. But yeah, I don't know. I played it on PC and I thought the shooting was terrible, and then I played it on console and I was like, oh, this is way more fun because it was obviously tuned for that.
Yeah.
But I thought the shooting was okay. It's just, it seemed to include all that other stuff out of Obligation, like side quests in an open world.
Car racing?
Yeah, the car racing especially was not great. It was at its best when you were running down a hallway shooting mutants. Like,
Sure.
Go fucking figure. It's id Software.
Right.
So it's strange to me that, it just seemed like an instance of they really wanted to broaden their horizons, and all the horizons they tried to broaden to is like, this is dead weight. Why is this here?
Yeah, that's true.
Just focus on what you're good at, which is
you
why Doom is gonna be good.
Are you gonna play Fallout 4?
I'm gonna play it by ear. I'm not dying for it like a lot of people because of my previous lack of experience with the other games that preceded.
The Fallout 1 and 2, in my personal opinion, really don't matter at this point.
No, yeah.
Fallout 3 is sort of the precursor, the only thing you really need to know. Now, if you sat down and played this, I think you'd kind of be.
Well, but
bored by
I'm
it,
even saying like stuff like Skyrim. Like I'm not itching for it. It's
Sure.
kind of like if you don't drink coffee, you don't need to drink coffee.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at in this
Speaking of which, Adam,
franchise.
we get some coffee later.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
I do not care for it.
So one thing I noticed today, I was I went to the office across the way to get coffee, and they had that Keurig thing, and I've never actually used one like more than just once, and it felt like loading a World War II shell into like
Pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah, you open it, it's like.
Oh, I think he's coming after you. You got to drop it. You got to put him down.
Wait, he's shooting me?
Yeah, you nicked him. Now he hates you.
Oh fucking hell!
You
Man.
nicked him.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, you just killed an officer.
You get to take all his shit. Yeah.
And no.
There you go.
This is why you need to like.
I hate Keurigs. I think that they're a waste of plastic and resources. And
I see.
and I read a thing where the water inside the machine, you can never really fully clean it out and dry it out so that the germs inside die.
Yeah.
So you just like continually refill the water, and it's just a stagnant pool of gross
Cool. It's
water.
like a dude soup.
So Adam accidentally did another thing that kind of always irked me about Skyrim.
Oh yeah, when you shoot someone on accident.
Yeah, well,
They get mad at you?
Yeah, it's not. Well, of course they'll get mad at you, but it's not even that. It's just like a lot of very unintended consequences. A lot of the times in Skyrim, I would like go somewhere and I would
start attacking you for no reason.
Yeah, that
There should
happened
be
a
a
lot.
button. There should be a button that's just throw up your hands and you just go.
Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Whoa,
sorry.
guys, whoa.
Oblivion was
Accident.
That would.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, my mom's trapped in there with the red roaches. Oh man,
it's a tunnel snake.
Yeah, tunnel snakes rule.
They do.
I'm a tunnel
can't
snake.
shoot it.
Wait, reload.
Chickle cream.
I remember the first time I played Skyrim, I was just wandering around in the wilderness. I found a shed, and I was like, hey, there's an empty shed, cool. And I went in there, and there was like a trap door in one of the rooms, and I was like, hey, cool, trap door. I went down in the trap door, there was like this terrible dungeon down there. It's like, that's weird. And then I left, and then some old woman rolls up and is like, get out of here. And then she just started attacking me. So I was like, okay.
Sounds like a hag raven.
It's like real life.
I whipped out my giant bastard sword and ran her through like a good Skyrim player. Lo and behold, she was like the grand wizard of the evil society, and she was the last NPC I needed to talk to finish this long quest chain that I just started.
Oh, shit.
So 10 hours later, they were like, okay, go see this chick in a cabin in the woods. And I march out there and they're like, I remember this cabin. Fuck me.
So what'd you do?
I stopped playing the game because it's just like, when things like that happen,
You're a murderer!
Hey, it's me, Butch.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
it's just, I don't know. For me, it's like, I get that that's kind of funny in a way, but also I'd put in a lot of time and was looking forward to a payoff at the end of this quest line.
The thing I like about it is it's real life. The thing, well,
That's
no,
what
the thing I like
happens when
about
you
it is
find an old lady in the woods
and you
in
kill
real
her.
life.
You just
She
murder
doesn't
her.
come back to life. Like
Really? You like that? It's a fucking video
that's
game.
why. Well, that's why it's similar to
Oh.
like game. Like Game of
This is
Thrones.
probably why I'm not dying for the next one of the series.
Why? This is awesome. Are you kidding? There we
He's
go.
tied in his sleep.
Yeah, he just fell asleep.
His skull's broken in. He's bleeding out of his mouth.
Sweet.
Only dreams now.
Steal his shit.
Butch, I already did. Butch is
Okay,
a
good.
dick. So
No, I'm not Dick. I'm
Oh,
a tunnel
Dick.
snake.
Misunderstood.
That's what he sounds like after you smack him in the head with a pole.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Don't hit me in the head with the pole!
I don't need BB.
You get the pole again.
Purified water. There you go. Now
Tunnel
we're
snake
talking.
outfit.
Putting it in the first aid kit.
All right,
God.
put on the tunnel snake outfit because now people will.
Now you can impress your friends.
Now you'll be Butch.
Here's another tale of terrible things in Skyrim. The first time you kill a dragon, you get the like weenie version of your dragon shout.
Right. Yeah.
And the way the game introduces you to it is like, oh my god, you killed a dragon. They're like, you should use your dragon power. So I'm like, who?
You did
It is
accent?
borderline racist.
Finnish
Like,
accent?
And then
whatever they think people sound like.
Swedish?
Yeah,
It's kind of Swedish.
yeah.
But so you do your dragon shout directly at the NPC who tells you to do it, and he's like, "That was cool," basically, and then he like wanders off,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess I can just shout at people now." And then I wandered to the nearest town and did my weenie little shout at the guards because I was just bored because I'd walked for 5 minutes without seeing anything. And then they're like, "Hey!" And then they immediately chase after me and kill me.
I like the lesson
There's a dragon!
that Lawrence learns is I just go around and shout at people.
The game demonstrates behavior to you.
No, Lawrence, you play the game like you would act in real life, which is so charming and wonderful.
Lawrence is right. The game
Lawrence plays
said
by the rules.
It established a set of rules and it immediately broke them.
Yes, and Skyrim does that a lot. Actually, it will give you.
Well, hold on. I don't know if that's true. Oh, by the way, I don't think you would go into a town and start shouting.
Ah!
Regardless,
Until they try to kill me.
the set of rules it establishes though are true because you yell at that guy and the guy's not going to do anything to you. He's,
Right, he just
he's an
taught
old
you.
man. But if you yell at the guards, they will get mad at you.
No, but it's a damage thing, right? It's the
Yeah.
game thinks you damage
The
these
game,
guards.
the game taught me that is not an act of aggression because the old dude was like, "Oh, cool shot, bro."
But if you shout at an old man, he's not going to do anything to you.
It's
If you
kinda-
shout at a guard, they might do something to you.
Yeah, it's like shouting at a policeman.
Well, then he should have been like, "Awesome, but be careful because not everybody."
Yes, he should have given you a second.
My-
chance.
Well, a lot of times they will do
experience-
that though. They'll be like, "You're walking around with magic out right now. Should be scared of it."
That's true.
Sort of way.
Yeah, if your weapons are brandished in like town, people do kind of freak out, which I like.
Yeah.
But to your point, Joel, about like playing like you would in real life, or I even wanted to play a character. I wanted to basically be like a taciturn murderer, like a Conan the Barbarian type. Because I built my dude like his name was Crom. And I just wanted to roll around without a shirt on and a giant sword and murder everyone. Typical fantasy. But the dialogue options they give you don't reflect any breadth of character. So I ended up just having to pick like the best case in any given scenario, and it was never what I wanted to say or the dialogue I wanted to have.
Heed my words and see my blade,
Basically.
for I shall strike it down upon thee.
That is also probably a product of it having been in development from 2008, and newer games have more options that allow for more nuance.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
I mean, you can always go back and play Zork and do some text-based.
no, because then it's
We'll go back to editing.
just like every other game. There's only one. Like the only paths you can take are the one the developers intended for you to take. So there's not going to be a lot more breadth in. Well, okay, so they're spending a lot of time on it, which is good. But at the end of the day, all this content needs to be made by human beings who are sitting in cubicles making it. And no matter what, they're never going to get everything I want. So there's always going to be that moment where the thing I want to do is not reflected in the game.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of things I want to do in games that I can't do.
Going back to
The
Fallout.
developers didn't want me to do those.
Going back to Fallout 3, we're playing it right now for those who are just listening.
That's what this
But,
is.
I forgot about VATS.
That's the best. That's part of it.
Totally
Yeah,
forgot
is
about
the best
it.
part
The best part of Fallout. That's
Oh,
what, remember
man.
when he showed it off on X-Play. I was like,
Yeah, man.
holy shit.
I completely missed that in Skyrim. Like, that was such a cool thing. It wouldn't make sense really in Skyrim, I guess, because they improved the combat.
Did they?
I was just gonna say-
I always played stealth with like arrows and shit. So
The patch that they added that added all the slow-mo cams made it better. Like it kind of added that VATS flavor.
Yeah.
Where if you got a critical hit on somebody, you would just like it's like an 80s action movie. They would fly.
I always when in my short experience, I always saw VATS as an excuse.
It was.
that's what
It
I
was
thought
totally
it
an
was. 'cause-
excuse because otherwise it looks like when Adam was just swinging it, just like
Well, and
yeah.
that's the way I felt in Skyrim.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Skyrim, you're just like shooting arrows and like doing crazy stupid shit. But this at least slows it down, gives it a little more.
It's still
cinematic
weird
feel.
though.
Well,
It's still weird though
still-
because there are games that don't need it that
Uh-oh.
still like play real cool
Oh, yeah.
without
It's
it.
just like who's gonna make the first
Right in
move?
the head. Right in the head.
Ah!
My favorite's always like when it like it's like their head is crippled.
Yeah.
Oh.
So VATS is also kind of it's a compromise
Wow.
between Fallout 1 and 2.
Oh, now it's just a swing fest.
Because since those were turn-based, it was more about positioning, tactics, and like, oh dear, This poor man.
Boof. Oh.
More action points.
And circling around.
Come on.
Vatten.
No,
VATS.
he's out of action points.
No, he's got more now.
His face is like.
Oh, Security Chief Hansen.
Oh, uppercut. Nice job.
So good to see you, Dude Soup. You're here to help.
Look at your maker.
Jeez. You're terrible.
Man, I fucking love Fallout.
Ultimately, like
Kill them all.
Oh boy.
ultimately, these games are kind of an awkward mix between an actual like pen and paper D&D campaign.
oof. Oh, there we go.
God, you're dancing around
It
him.
looks so derpy.
Left arm crippled.
And that's the exciting version of combat.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun part. That's why it's fun because it looks
There we
ridiculous.
go. Death.
Also, the first time you shoot a guy in the head with V.A.T.S. is the most satisfying
His
thing.
head explodes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The sound design is actually pretty good too. Like the way that.
He went over and posed.
Help yourself to turn yourself in.
I forgot what it was. It was
Who
like,
cares?
I was like, you should kill yourself.
All right, well, that'll wrap up Fallout chat, I guess.
Oh, really? I want to talk about Fallout so much more.
Oh yeah, keep talking about Fallout. Then.
I don't know. The only thing I can really think of was in New Vegas. I was thinking of this story when you were talking about how how broken the NPC system is. Oh god!
Oh shit!
Oh, he's gotcha.
You gave him time to. It's like
He's like, let me just.
we'll
grab
talk
something
later.
up.
He goes and gets a pipe.
Oh!
All right, I'm ready to talk now.
I just remember there was an NPC. There was an NPC. Oh, yeah, here we go. Block and
He's real strong.
It's like the developers have never seen anyone use anything as a weapon ever.
His head exploded.
If someone described what a fight looked like to someone who had never seen a fight, this is how they would make it.
That's crippled.
No, I took like
Oh,
this.
it's gonna get you.
Hey!
You
Carried.
can block it.
I like how daintily he walks backwards.
Well, he's all sorts of crippled.
Yeah, I think you crippled his arm.
He's dancing. Ooh!
Uh-oh.
Wait, you're teleporting.
Back of the head.
Hold on, back out and lock the door. Oh.
Yeah, I think you could do that. Let's see.
Hold on, go to the computer.
It's just yelling through the room.
Oh.
I'm gonna go.
All right, that's him.
Yep. One last V.A.T.S. for the road. I think I'm. Oh, there we go.
Boom!
Oh man!
Critical strike on old man.
Wow, you killed the overseer.
Anyway, look at how he
Oh,
died.
here's the new overseer.
He died as he lived. I'm
Pondering.
gonna take his clothes.
You're the overseer now.
Yeah.
You have to eat his heart, though, Adam.
Yeah.
Get his power.
Oh, look at his legs are crossed. There we go.
Shove him under the
He died in his sleep, just like Butch.
No, he's putting him on the bed.
Good night, sweet prince.
All right, well,
sorry. Anyway, there's a character named Boone. He works for I forgot what it was, New California Republic or something like that. But he'll be one of your followers. And we walked up to this fort, and they immediately started firing on us. It didn't do anything.
Yes, I had that same problem.
I'm just getting sniped, and then so I killed all these guys, and it ended up being New California Republic people. And Boone looks at me, and Boone also murdered a bunch of them too. He looks at me and goes, "Hey, I won't tolerate that. You killed my own guys." I'm like, "You were in on it. Like, don't put the blame on me." So
Tell me out.
but that was
Boone is a complicated man.
But that was always kind of the game's charm, like how broken it was. And you know me, I love broken games, so
Yeah.
I never really had a problem with it per se, but I don't know. I just remember that being like, okay, so this is totally broken, but
Yeah.
I'll take it. But I'm kind of looking forward to that again. Like I like that sort of stuff.
And that's the danger
This
of
is like Tony Bennett or something.
listening to Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
that's the danger when you
yeah.
apply like worldwide rules.
Killer. There you go.
Because I had the same issue actually. I rolled up on that like prison camp and they all started immediately shooting at me.
Yeah.
And so one of my first experiences in New Vegas was meticulously murdering everyone inside of a prison. And I didn't know why I was doing it either. Like it didn't make sense. Why are these guys mad at me?
You're
Yeah.
terrible.
It kind of reminds me of Far Cry 2 also a little bit. And that everybody, they would like see a dude across the plane and be like, "Hey!" And they just start shooting at him. I'm like, what? You guys you don't know who I am.
Hey!
Just start shooting. I mean,
He's in a Jeep.
kill
Kill
him.
him.
Get him!
Well, you've killed everybody in the vault.
We have some comments from
Yeah,
the
let's.
Funhausians.
All right, here we go.
I
From,
mean, we wrote questions for ourselves.
from
but we never
our
answered.
housemates.
Ah, fuck it, who cares?
Okay.
We'll get to those eventually.
Okay.
So thank you guys for your very warm welcome.
Yay, thank you.
I cherry picked some interesting comments on the last podcast. Soupy Sales has an interesting projection of how our next year will go. He or she writes, "I'll subscribe, but I just realized something. The IG crew will do to Rooster Teeth exactly what they did to Machinima. They'll play along, pretend to go with the flow.
Right.
Then they will eventually say fuck it and start doing their own shit and biting the hand that feeds them, and it will be great.
Yep.
Because they are rebels deep down, and you can't put no leash on them."
rebels, man.
Oh, man.
Biting the hand that feeds.
We were really,
Rattlesnakes.
we're really the furthest thing from
Rebels. Yeah, we want to work at a company.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
play video games.
And we like Rooster Teeth, so that's why we were working at the company.
Yeah.
So that's
Interesting
For
theory, though.
now, you mean?
Yeah. We're just gonna play it cool.
Sorry,
Play it cool.
I had to rebel against what you were saying.
And then we're gonna set small controlled blazes in our office. To rebel.
only in our office.
Yeah, in our office.
Seems like it would hinder us though.
Huh?
Okay. All right. Well,
You smell that?
Yeah, once the fumes get to you, you won't care anymore.
We're rebels. We burn ourselves.
Just don't fall asleep. A nap is fine, but
Get
don't
rid of
fall
all of our
asleep.
oxygen. Great theory, but you're way off.
way up.
Greg Greggington. So before I get into this comment, let me just say that there's been a lot of people talking and complaining about the merger of fan bases, but I haven't actually seen anybody actually fighting. Just complaints about fighting.
That's true.
Which is very bizarre.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, so it's preemptive?
I think so.
Yeah.
Preemptive complaining. That's the kind of complaining
Well, it's
I
like what
respect.
happens when it's like the Brady Bunch. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
story of a couple roosters who were sitting in a very, I don't know, whatever, and then the rest of the Brady Bunch.
We all get what you're going at. So Greg Greggington writes, you guys, hold on, every time you tap on the screen, it brings up the keyboard. You guys would be a lot better of a fan base if you just realized your bitching does absolutely nothing to influence them.
Whoa.
It's not as if you even have to work with them, so just deal with the fact that Funhaus is something new and different.
Ooh.
The worst things you people could do is bring up the past because of IG, because it holds no relevance and makes the whole channel an experience an ungenuine. TLDR, shut the fuck up.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, that's a little harsh.
Yeah.
We do actually listen to people.
We're constantly listening.
Yeah.
And communicate as much as we can with people. Though, and I kind of made a point of this in regards to Todd Howard and stuff.
yeah.
I kind of just said like, I know a lot of you want us just to keep doing the same thing that you know you love, but you should be confident that we are capable of finding new things that you guys
Absolutely.
might love,
Yeah.
because
While still doing familiar things.
yeah, we're always making ourselves laugh in new ways. So I don't know why you guys wouldn't want to be in on those new jokes. You
Yeah,
know, it's kind of like the whole Blade thing. Like, would you guys really still be liking if we said Blade at the end of every single? I mean, you probably would.
I would like that.
But still, it's just
Put
one
on
of
the
those
sneaker.
things where, you know, we're gonna keep coming up with new funny stuff, I think.
Oh, absolutely,
And,
yeah.
and finding new awesome stuff, and then that'll replace the old stuff, and then it'll be new cool things, and then you'll want us to do those new things that are not yet discovered. You'll want us to go back and do those again, even though we'll have moved on to something else.
Yeah, I think that was always kind of the reason why I like working with this group is we'd always discover new funny things to do, and we always moved on, and we actually got kind of tired of old kind of tropes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, working with Rooster Teeth or becoming part of Rooster Teeth was like a really good example because now all of a sudden we have to kind of think a little more outside the box, which I really like and we're really good at. And sort of like the only example I can think of is like we don't want to create any content that conflicts with anything else that's out there. Like we don't want to do exactly what Achievement Hunter's doing. We don't want to do exactly what
The No is doing.
the no. Well, except when we're on the no.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to integrate with them. We're not
Exactly,
We're not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
We're not going to do an Ashley episode, and we're not going to do an Inside Gaming episode.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
last thing we want is we want the most collaboration. This is the thing that people were asking from us for a long time. They're like, hey, you guys should collaborate with Rooster Teeth. And it's like, well, this is the ultimate collaboration.
Yeah.
We want to collaborate. We don't want to compete. That's the thing. So we want to find a way. And that's a challenge. It's an artistic challenge, but like we'll find a way of doing it.
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
There you go.
No,
Back to
it-
editing.
Yep.
See, knew it's funny. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
I'm realizing now this game has signs that point you to Megaton, and that was the last thing I went to.
Go to Megaton. Really?
When I first played, well, I got there a little late, but
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Go try and do the bomb, defuse a bomb.
Yeah, just go shoot it.
It always blows up.
Shoot the detonator off of it.
Can you do that immediately?
Yes. Shoot
Really?
it. Pull your gun out and shoot
Are
it.
you hurt?
No.
Yeah, he's hurt.
No.
Looks like your arm. Oh, no, you
Yeah,
have a
well,
gun.
It's because of my gun out.
Yeah.
How do you holster weapons? I forget.
Why are you holding it like that?
Like this.
Bam.
Everyone knows that's a standard carrying procedure.
Clutch it to your ribcage at all times. Keeps it warm. Gummy Piretti
Okay.
All right.
writes, God, I fucking hate Rooster shit. Why didn't they just leave Inside Gaming alone and not make it a kid's show?
What?
I wouldn't mind if they stayed the same, but I know they're going to make it a dumb kid show.
Kids show? What the hell's a
fuck are you
kids show?
talking about?
Rooster Teeth doesn't make anything for kids.
I do enjoy
they
these
have
brief-
Game
they have
Kids,
Game
a Game
Kids.
Kids channel,
That's actually
which is
for little kids.
a specific channel that they designed for kids.
Yeah. What
So
are
they do make kids.
I'm not sure this
They don't
person
make
knows
kids.
what anything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy these brief windows into people's... Because clearly those words, he typed them out, and his mind got there somehow.
Yeah.
I just don't know how. I don't know what gave you the impression, or anyone the impression that would be
I
becoming
think
kids
maybe what he's
entertainment.
saying is that we might dumb down our content.
Maybe?
We're pretty dumb.
No, we are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I think what he was saying is like us getting bought like by Disney or something that's more mature related Well, that's like an example. Like someone
Disney?
getting bought by Disney and being told, like coming in and being like, hey, we only sell to like more mature markets, or we only sell to certain things. So I think they're worried that we would have to take out James's fart jokes.
Never.
He never does fart jokes. I know
jokes.
he's fart.
James is vagina jokes.
And Mike Gilbert television jokes.
Because their content is more mature. I think that's what this person is thinking, that their content is more mature and they would make us try to be more.
I mean, you don't have to, but I think you should take some time to familiarize yourself with the kind of stuff that Rooster Teeth does, because it's kind of all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
I would say some of the stuff they do is more mature than the stuff we do, but then a lot of it is a lot less mature.
Yeah.
But then we have done entire things that are just purely based around Bruce farting.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that qualifies in the scale of maturity and immaturity.
High maturity.
Well,
It's high.
Very high.
I mean, a big reason why we really like working with Rooster Teeth is like I saw a lot of similarities when I was doing stuff with them in the group that I work with here, and so I was like, I was just out there in Austin a little bit, a while ago, and I was telling you guys about this, how like their company, the Austin office is huge. There's a lot of people there, they have different kind of production groups, but I see little bits of them in all of us. And there's just way more similarities than I think this guy realizes.
Calamity Jane,
What?
Lucas Sims.
Yeah, Lucas Sims is what you're talking
Has to be
about.
No,
John
yeah,
Lucas.
we wouldn't have just jumped right into this if we didn't think it was the right fit. So
We spent
Trust us.
months talking about this.
also, I don't know how you can say anything's changed, considering there's only so much to choose from, and all of it is very indicative of us.
Yeah.
It's just purely our
The
personality.
basis is familiar. If you know us, then you know approximately what we will make. We're not going to go out and decide to make a movie review show.
Maybe
So-
we will.
Maybe we will.
So
Actually, I
anyway,
really wanted to talk
yeah,
about the
let's-
new Hitman 47.
Let's talk about movies, because there's the Hitman teaser, and then we saw Jupiter Ascending, which, oh my god,
You saw it?
yeah,
Is it great?
Lawrence and I both saw it.
it's great in a way. So let's talk about Hitman first. Let's start on a high note.
Go ahead. Why are we talking about Hitman?
Because Adam, you wanted to,
Okay, well, why are we bringing up Hitman?
because there's a new trailer.
There it is.
Ah.
Sorry, that's what I wanted you to say. Do what I want.
You gotta fight. You gotta fight for everything in this world, Adam. Even when it comes to getting people to say things.
Very
for you.
similar to the way that Hitman fights for
Everything.
hitting
Money.
and money.
Hitting guys.
Bruce, you want to hear you jump in on this? I'll trade you.
Oh, great.
I would. I'm
Yeah,
getting a little tired
sure.
of playing.
So this trailer is kind of unique.
Adam played
yeah, well,
58 minutes. Now, Bruce, jump in.
Jump in there.
this trailer is kind of unique in the sense that it's not painting Agent 47 as a protagonist.
Yeah, I like
And this
that.
is actually something that I've noticed in games in general lately, is that they are kind of dropping the need to portray the player as the hero. Watch Dogs,
yeah.
was very anti-hero. There was another one that came out really. Oh wait, what was it? Anyway, there have been a few protagonists lately where they don't even.
God of War, Kratos is
Oh, sure.
the world's biggest asshole.
Yeah,
He's really not. I mean, I think at the end of 3, spoiler, sorry, he basically floods the world because he kills Poseidon, and for some reason when he kills Poseidon, the world floods.
that makes sense.
But he was he just murdered everything. Everyone's like, he's the good guy. He just wants this little
He wants
girl.
to murder.
He's at one point he's walking around the game with a little girl, he's dragging her out of a dungeon while holding the severed head of some dude as a light bulb. I was like, that's cool. If you press Q, you auto run.
He's strong and sensitive.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just interesting in that obviously a writer came to that property and they were like, so Agent 47 has no emotions, and he's really good at killing people, and that's it. And you want him to be the protagonist?
Yeah. Well, they tried the movie before.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that?
With Timmy O? No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's Timothy. They keep
Oliphant.
casting the worst people in the world as Agent 47.
Yeah. I like that he took the role. I like the actor, and I think
No,
the fact that he
I
took the
love
role.
Timothy Elephant. Him
Yeah.
and Deadwood, freaking awesome. I watched a
Go.
little bit of Justified. He's okay. And,
Yeah, Justified starts good, but
and Girl Next Door, another great film starring Timothy Oliphant.
wait, isn't that?
He is in it.
Oh.
Apparently, his character was based on Eli Roth.
Huh.
It's worth noting.
You and your IMDb
going
trivia.
on?
Adam.
I know things.
But anyway, we were discussing various scenarios that take place in the Hitman game, and kind of bummed that it didn't seem like any of those are going to be in the movie. It
No.
was the Heaven and Hell Club that you were
Well,
talking about.
I was telling you, which I guess you were surprised about. I've played every single Hitman game.
Yeah, I didn't-
The only one I haven't finished was the newest one. I got kind of far, but
Absolution.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. But for some reason, I lost interest in it. I should probably go back and finish it. Story wasn't that great, but something about stealth games. I don't know. But there's so much they can pull from that's actually really cool. Hitman, Dead Money, and Contracts had some of the coolest things that they could pull from that would actually work well in a movie. And it really bums me out that they're just like, he's just a hitman.
It's
like,
an action movie, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Press V. Oh, no, don't kill her.
Ooh, hello.
Hello, Silver.
I'm not gonna kill her.
You can have sex with her right away.
Yeah?
I don't know, maybe.
Wow. I didn't get the mods working, so.
It is weird because it's so like the World of Warcraft movie's coming out, and that took how many years, Joel, for them to like?
Well,
Like
That includes like 8
no,
non-starts,
it
though.
took like 7 or 8 years.
She already gave you money? Man, she wants you bad.
Don't kill her.
Oh,
No, that's where you aim your penis.
Oh no, press E.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Bruce.
Press E.
Don't do it.
Boom! Look how many shots takes to her head.
Oh my
Her
god,
head is
she's
crippled.
Oh yeah.
Oh! Ruined the table setting and everything.
Oh, this game's fucking awesome.
Should be all right.
All right, we'll have sex with her.
Well, anyway, within the time that they have just got World of Warcraft into like pre-production, they made 2 Hitman movies. So, what makes Hitman so goddamn special?
Does it require you making giant walking, talking cow people?
I guess that's true.
Well,
Yeah.
they also probably don't care as much. When you're making as much money off of the World of Warcraft brand and name, you're probably going to be a little bit more careful with it than Hitman, where they just churn out a game whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, even that, like, the game essentially went through a reboot. But I was like, is the Hitman franchise that popular that
I think it's just easy to convert to movie.
Right.
Because you have basically, you have...
Costume budget is a black suit.
What's your
With a red
inventory
tie.
again to switch guns?
Tab.
Oh, that's this thing.
Yeah, and then items is down below.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
One of the
intuitive.
things we were discussing is that the Hitman games have a really cool tone. Like
Yeah.
there's dark comedy mixed in there a lot, and like genuinely disturbing stuff. There was that. I think it was Blood Money or Contracts. The first level you go to basically like a nightclub that's also a meatpacking plant.
Yeah.
And then you find the
That was,
butcher.
Contracts, I believe.
Contracts, yeah. Spoilers, whatever. The guy you have to kill is this like butcher. Actually, no, wait. You're going in there to find someone's daughter. And what you end up finding is this butcher who has like pictures of her all over his room, and then she's like strung up like on a meat hook, dead.
Yeah.
And you have to like, I don't remember specifically, but you like grab her hand and that's what you take out.
Something like that. It's pretty dark, but then
It's
there's also
really fucked up.
there's the other one. I want to say it was Blood Money. I think we said Dead Money before. I think it's actually Blood Money.
Yeah.
I forget. It's been a while since I played them, but I think that was the one where you go to Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And you can dress up as a chicken. And
Yes, you
and there's like you can mow down the entire crowd if you want to. But I was like that's what was missing in that movie trailer we saw. Like it's all very serious, and they full on rip off the line from Watchmen where he's in the room. For whatever reason, the dude from Legit has a sniper rifle in a confession room, and he's like, "You're trapped in here with me." He's like, "No, you're trapped in here with me." And then he kicks the table and somehow
Sets off the gun,
shoots
his...
and he pulls up his chain on his.
It's very Resident Evil movies.
Yes.
Resident Evil movies
They're
are like,
absurd.
fuck it, UCG.
What they should have had though was him in a chicken suit, like drowning someone in a toilet, like.
Just like complete blank stare.
Yeah, or there's one where like you have to go to like a mob boss's house, and there's like the CIA. I think he's under witness protection, and so you can go in dressed as a clown because there's a party.
That's right, yeah.
And then you can rig the barbecue so that the guy's wife will try to use it, and she'll catch on fire. Then she'll run in the pool, and everyone's distracted, so you can go in the house and strangle the dude dressed as a clown. Like that should be in the movie right there. Like someone should be looking at that and being like, this is like Deadpool levels of absurdity that I should be writing into a film. Instead, they're like, well, he's bald and he's a clone. Big deal. Like, why? Why do you hate things?
The best Hitman sequence in any movie was actually in Crank. Because in the first movie, they like show a flashback of Chev Chelios killing somebody, and the way they show it is like somebody like stashes a gun in a stack of ice or whatever, and then he like rolls in. Like I seem to recall he like took out a chef, like took his clothes, grabbed the gun out of the ice, and then shot the dude. And I'm like, that is a Hitman level.
That's totally Hitman.
And also, fucking Jason Statham should be Agent 47. I don't know what we're waiting on that.
I don't know. I think Jason Statham's really good at playing Jason Statham.
Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, you're right.
Because then he'd be like, oh, I'm the Hitman. And it's like, well, Hitman kind of had a unique voice. Like, the voice actor who played him was really cool and kind of even looked like Hitman. Maybe a little too old to play him at this point, but still, it's like, oh, just, maybe get a bald dude doesn't look weird when he's bald, I guess. Everyone you keep casting looks strange.
Yeah.
And I like Timothy Oliphant, but he deserves hair, so stop.
Yeah, you would
please.
think they would either use a skull cap or some concealer on the scalp to cover up all the little stubbles.
Yeah. Well, to your point though, like or I guess to the movie's point, I am only slightly interested because they're portraying Hitman as an actual villain.
Yeah.
Whereas the guy from Heroes and Star Trek is like following him.
Yeah.
Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, but it also looks like a bad movie.
Oh boy! Even as shades, I got a little shade of like Terminator there. So it's like
Nice.
Quinto's like the Kyle Reese character who protects the lady for some reason, and he's like, you don't know, this guy's serious business, genetically engineered killing machine, and basically they're running from him the entire movie is what I assume it will the structure will be like.
Sure. Yeah, I am just like you could make a good Hitman movie. You really could. Maybe in 10 years we will. But this
does
one is
anyone
not.
want to watch it?
I'll watch it, but
Beyond. I would say beyond the people who play Hitman the game. Is it a compelling enough IP that people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yes, exactly.
No, absolutely not.
I agree.
So
what's the point?
Looks like a real dumb movie, apart from the franchise.
I would
I guess
say
they keep making stupid Resident Evil movies.
Yeah,
because they do well.
I was gonna say the best looking video game movie coming out is the Rage film that they're calling Mad Max for some reason, but it looks really cool. Yeah.
Weird casting decisions.
Oh boy,
but
this is
strange. But,
so in terms of video game crossover with movie, James and I saw Jupiter Ascending. Oh boy, she's coming in.
I want to ask you guys about that, but I'm glad you saved it for the podcast.
Yes.
While our head explodes.
We had quite a
little bit.
discussion, and we were going to try and see it together, and then I think you went on Friday, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't go, but then I got a text late Friday night that said, Jupiter Ascending is not a good film, but it is fascinating. We must discuss, or something like that. And
I think I saw the tweet. Or something
Oh,
like
was
that.
it a tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, either way.
Now here's the best part. You can go pick up the dog's head.
Why was the
right.
blood
Yeah.
flying out?
Press Z to pick things up. Yep. Now you show that to your enemies.
They won't.
I have a head. Here. Do you want it?
Oh, that's gross.
I ended up seeing Jupiter Ascending on Saturday, and texted Lawrence back and basically said, "Yes, you are right."
So what was
Or
bad?
Is it worth going to watch?
Yes, it's a spectacle.
So I'm a big fan of a film website called Film Drunk. And their review for Jupiter Ascending is pretty much spot on. It is, this movie is broken. It is in so many pieces. I don't know how it got as far as it did, yada, yada, yada. But then ultimately, he comes down on the side of saying, it kind of reminds me of the Winchester Mystery House. And you might as well charge tickets to the Winchester Mystery House, right? Like, you might as well charge admission. Why not? So the general consensus was, go see it, but go see it knowing that it's kind of a mess, right?
That's so weird because I thought Cloud Atlas was going to be that, and a lot of people walked away from that going like, I really like Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas is I also found out recently that apparently there's a 4-hour version of Cloud Atlas that's
Coming to
amazing.
Netflix.
Not
Yeah.
coming to Netflix, but
No, I think that's what they said.
no, they're working on a Netflix series.
Yeah,
but
since
that's what it was.
Warner Brothers owns that, and they're probably never gonna see it. They showed it to the Netflix guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cloud Atlas is awesome. This movie, well, Lawrence and I were kind of saying, it looks like it's based off a book trilogy. It's not. And it looks like they only had enough money. They had to kind of, series of unfortunate events, consolidate the trilogy down into one movie. So it is the entirety of book 1, none of book 2, and then the conclusion of book 3 is basically what this movie is. So it's super deep, it's super weird. You're like, why are there flying dragons? Like, I don't understand what is going on. And but then you don't even scratch the surface of anything. It
So
just
you're saying
kind
we
of
should,
glosses over it.
Take mushrooms and then go see it.
Yes.
How's
Yeah,
Channing
that's
Tatum
fine,
and his
Space
space
dog.
boots?
And not absolutely not as cool as he should be,
Yeah,
which is a dumb thing to say considering he's like a half wolf dude with pointy ears and skate boots. For some reason, and this is the Wachowskis, they know how to make things cool, right? They basically set the tempo of cool in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So I feel like and on a larger scale, I feel like the rest of the movies like this, they know what they're doing. Oh shit.
No.
Pick up his head.
They know what they're doing, so how did that happen unless they meant for it to be that way?
I have a theory my theory that I came out of the theater with and told Lawrence about was, I think the Wachowskis are really smart. I think they're genius level, right? I think they are way smarter than we could possibly imagine. I think they love movies. And I think their last couple films have been underwhelming. They've been making underwhelming films. So they basically got together and they said, how can we make a movie that will sell? Right? We need to make
They said it was Jupiter Ascending?
Yeah, with Jupiter Ascending.
Big, dumb, space, sci-fi,
Big, dumb,
star, movie star.
Because it has a, husk of a female lead, right? She's basically nothing who falls in love with a boy, right? Then the
Space
boy is half wolf,
Yeah.
right? So you have basically the whole Twilight thing going on. Also, not only is she in love with him, but she's also, the most important thing in the universe, just by happenstance. So it has all these elements of like Twilight and like intergalactic battling and stuff like this. It's supposed to appeal to everyone, except that it ends up appealing to no one because I think they got so mixed up in the process that they got confused, and their real desire was to make this weird giant space opera, but then what they had to make because of studios was a weird Twilight in space with like Channing Tatum.
Do you want?
Wait, hold on. I've got some bad news. I've got some bad news.
What?
We've reached the hour limit of our Jupiter Ascending podcast.
What? The Ascension with Jupiter Ascending.
Do we have fan art or no?
No.
Okay, well then
We
that's
actually,
all right.
well,
It exists.
I will
Thank you guys
say
for
this,
making it,
if
but-
we are going out on this note, you guys have been doing fantastic work on the subreddit
Yeah,
and
seriously.
Twitter and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the,
Shout out to Montezuma, Hooded Bob, Black Nerd,
Yeah.
Ip Kippy,
I
Bruce's
farted.
Fart,
Corey Clark?
Corey Clark,
James?
You guys,
James.
you
Smells
know
pretty
who
bad.
you are.
I feel like we're forgetting someone.
But you guys have done a.
I'm not getting it yet.
Oh, you will.
You guys have done a fantastic job of getting everything up and going, like without us. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, the subreddit looks fucking fantastic.
so beautiful.
And rest assured, we will be making more videos and be more active once we get up and rolling, which is now. We're getting up and rolling now, right?
This will be up. Okay, so this week has basically been sort of hit caps lock. Sorry, there you go. It locks you. I don't know why it does that. This week has kind of been more kind of prep. We're still kind of figuring things out. Like Bernie said, our launch is the 16th. So we should be up and running. We're pre-producing content now. You guys have been following us on all the social media stuff, seeing that we've started playing games. We're getting there. Podcast will be normal. We've talked. I guess I won't give away what I'm doing. Can't promise anything, but I have installed Skyrim and GTA 4 on my PC. So
What is that?
Oh, I guess we're gonna play
Fallout series is coming.
series.
I really do want to replay Fallout, so I want to figure that out. And then also, if you guys missed any of it, I was in Austin earlier this week, and I did some video stuff with that. So you can kind of expect more of those sorts of things with all of us doing, these sort of collaboration things, because those guys are a lot of fun to work with. I just gave Gavin my camera, and he had a fucking field day. So you saw what he made.
Put it in a lamp
God, they're crazy.
immediately.
I love those guys. Yeah. So far, I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about, like planning wise, other than?
We have
Everything's kind of in a
speakers.
state of flux right
we have
now, yeah.
speakers, but right before we wanted to record this podcast, we couldn't figure out how to get audio to the Elgato, so we still have troubles.
We're getting
but
there. Oh,
we're working through it.
Well, always have trouble.
all the equipment's here, though. We got the computers for capping and live streaming, so we're getting there. We're almost there.
We appreciate your patience, but these things do take time.
A little bit, yeah. And then we're gonna move again. So through the window. And I think that's probably the best note to go out on.
I love that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks for
All right.
watching.
Tune in next week.
That was the craziest segue ever.
It's defying expectations.
I think I know what you're saying. Meg Turney always tweets about our coffee maker that we have. Is that
Not
what you're
even
saying?
remotely. No, that's way too
Joe
well
just
constructed.
gracefully accepted that as an outlaw. Should have let
He's like, absolutely lost.
So-
Wait,
I'll tell you why that's
You can
wrong.
explain yourself.
No, there's no explaining. Everyone on the internet guessed it basically. So let's talk about the future of what we intend to do with Rooster Teeth and how the no may factor into that.
Let's talk about that because we forgot to talk about that before we hired you guys.